כל החולים בתוך קהילה שלנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא החולים. Amen. Sylvie, would you like to continue with your prayer?
Okay. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. O God, my rock and my redeemer, God, my rock and redeemer.
Oh, say shalom b'momav, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol bnei Adam. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Thank you. We'd like now to turn to Mo Muswell, who will be ready to unmute herself. You'll remember at Yom Kippur, one of the charities that LL supported was Jewish Women's Aid. And this is the subject that Mo will be talking to us this evening, this Erev Shabbat. I believe it is Jewish Women's Aid Shabbat throughout the country. So over now to Mo for her words on this charity.
Yeah, hi. Rabbi David's right. It is the weekend that the entire Jewish community, whoever they are supposed to be supporting Jewish Women's Aid. I think that Elliot showing things on the screen? Someone showing?
I have a poster and a video.
If so, Elliot will just post the video of what Rabbi Charlie Baginski's said as the liberal address about it, if you don't mind, Elliot, please.
And I'm Rabbi Charlie Baginski, and I'm the Interim Director of Liberal Judaism. Liberal Judaism is proud to be a vocal supporter of Jewish Women's Aid all year and every year, recognising that we have to always ensure that no woman should face domestic abuse or sexual violence alone. But we also recognise how vital it is to dedicate one Shabbat a year to focusing on raising awareness that no community is free from violence against women. On Saturday, the 21st of November, rabbis across the spectrum of the Jewish world will raise our voices in sharing the responsibility of ensuring that there is no safe space for violence against women. And with one voice, we will commit to building an environment that is open and receptive to women seeking support. We at Liberal Judaism are grateful for the dedication and hard work of the staff and volunteers of Jewish Women's Aid, and that we will work with them to ensure that we can achieve their vision of a world without violence against women and girls. Thank you.
So as you can see, that was from our rabbi, but all the rabbis are getting together to focus on this. I just had to say one thing, that for our High Holy Day appeal, we actually, because we'd already chosen a Jewish charity, we actually then decided to choose Women's Aid. All the training that we have is the same. It's just that it's been divided up, like there's Kurdish Aid, Christian Women's Aid, because it's felt that sometimes people will go to what they would call their own if they'd like any help. Can I just also say, I don't know how long I'm supposed to be talking for. Does anyone? No? Right, I'll just carry on. Anyway, so we've talked about the Shabbat. What they're doing for the next 16 days is a campaign. We probably have a picture of it soon. It's called A Mask Won't Protect, to draw attention to the impact of COVID-19 and sadly the impact it's having on domestic abuse and how it's affecting particularly women and children. There's so many different types of domestic abuse, as I'm sure you may be aware, that's physical, sexual, emotional, financial, spiritual, and it's very sad how sadly this has been so much more prevalent during this lockdown, particularly the previous lockdown when people couldn't really escape, if you like, for any help. And something I'd like to mention to the community, because I don't know if people are aware, that Boots the Chemist is actually, particularly when we're on a stronger lockdown, but it's still continuing, many branches of Boots are a safe haven during the day for people that are being abused, that maybe need to find accommodation, speak to different authorities and charities. Boots the Chemist during the day. If one goes to a branch or knows someone that needs help and it's not actually available at that branch, a spare room, they will direct you to a branch that is. So that's just something I wanted to mention. 1 in 4 women will always experience domestic abuse, and sadly 1 in 5 women will always experience sexual abuse. And in the 30 years that this charity has been going, it has been proved that sadly there's no less percentage in Jewish women being abused as any other women, because I think that used to be a myth. But the thing that comes to light of this really is that Jewish women tend to take much longer to report abuse. Sometimes it will take up to 9 years for the average person to even live with abuse before they report it. And with Jewish women, it's approximately about 11 years. I haven't got all that in front of me, so it is an approximation, but that's probably what it is. So over the COVID period, since June, Jewish Women's Aid have supported 150 women, and that it's 22% higher than it would usually be. And they've also got a new, I think there should be a site coming on the screen about it, but I'll tell you about it, that there's now a new helpline as well that people can phone up if they're being abused. And that is also particularly for maybe 16 plus girls, maybe would find it easier to have a special line that they can use. There was some videos that we could show, but I did feel that they weren't particularly appropriate for a Shabbat, and particularly on the Erev of Bar and Bat Mitzvah, it wouldn't be particularly nice to see. But they really do need our money at the moment, because they are trying so hard to support so many people. And also because of the COVID restrictions, it's much harder for them to take goods in, like food and clothes and everything else. Has anyone got any questions that they'd like to ask about the charity or about forms of abuse? Or is it, I think Judy's here. Would you like to say anything, Judy? Because Judy is also an ambassador for Jewish Women's Aid. So we're the 2 people in the community that one can come to. And also it's for if you feel that you know people are being abused, but they're not coming forward, one can guide them in ways of trying to maybe help the people come forward. But it's a very difficult situation, which I'm sure Judy would agree, we learnt on the training, that it's not as easy as, well, if he's beating you, why don't you just leave then? In life, things are not as easy as that, as I'm sure you all know through experience.
No, I've got nothing to add. I think you've said everything really, Mo.
What you may
The
know,
only thing I will say from experience is that if you know anybody has to leave, don't then go for the thing that the man tells you that he promised he'll behave and go back, because the chances are it'll be a recurring circle. Be brave enough. If you've made a decision to leave, try and be strong enough to stay away. And if you have children, take them all. I mean that. I took all mine, but when I was in the refuge, there were some who only took, for whatever reason, some of their children, and then you're fighting and you're splitting siblings. And I think that is very bad too. So if you have to leave, try and leave and take all your children. If you've got children, take them all with you. Don't just say you'll take and you'll come back for the other, because the chances are you won't get the other ones back.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Judy and Merle for their very powerful words this evening. And I think in LLs, we're very proud to have such articulate ambassadors for this worthy cause.
Thank
So
you.
I'd like now to conclude the service with Elenu on page 520. 520, please. And can we commence with screen sharing again? עלינו לשבח לדורון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, אשר שם אלוקינו יחד את שמו, וגאון עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים וקוראים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, ושכינתו זו, בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אימון, אמת מלכנו ובזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ידעת היום השבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת Can I ask Merle to unmute yourself and say in English the second half of the Elena, which is a positive hope for the future for us and the world? Merle, unmute.
Yeah, I'm trying to unmute myself. Where am I starting from? Sorry. Trusting you.
Trusting in you.
Trust in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our heart and idolatry cease forever. Help us to protect the world by bringing it under unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. Shall I carry on?
Please.
May we all dwell on earth, come to know to you, every knee must bend, every tongue swear loyalty before you. That the humble themselves and be your gracious name, let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it was written, the Eternal One shall reign forever.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. Can we now jump to page 523, the top of page 523? It is hard to feel serene when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone. In particular, this Shabbat, we remember the names of Tina Gold's stepbrother, Lawrence Grober, Marguerite's father, David Rosen, June Bradbury's aunt, Leah Gold, and Miriam's dear sister, Judith Nissenbaum, all of whose yacht sites will fall in the coming week. In the emptiness that their passing leaves behind, we are not alone. We do have the companionship of the living, and even our loved ones who have died live on in our hearts. But what they were is part of what we have become. We honor them best when we live as they would wish, responsibly, happily, even in the shadow of our loss. And so we draw closer to the source of life, in whom every life finds its meaning, purpose, and hope. So perhaps now Marguerite, Miriam, and June would unmute themselves and join in Kaddish, please. Miriam?
You're not unmuted.
Miriam, can you unmute?
I'll lead it then.
Yeah.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויאמר תברך ילותי וימליך מלכותי, בחיי יכונו ויומכונו, וחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה ממלך לעולם ועולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשא בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במאמר, לא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו amen. Passing now to Stuart for his announcements.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom to you all. Thanks to Rabbi David for leading us this evening, for Gary and Elliot together for hosting, and all who took part. And thanks, Mel and Judy, for your presentation about this, the very important and the vital work of Jewish Women's Aid and Women's Aid, which is part of our Holy Day appeal. And talking about this on Thursday from 8 to 8:45, the presenter Emma Barnett is giving a talk on Zoom in aid of Jewish Women's Aid. So please try and join. Please try and go to that. Details on the update. Tomorrow morning, a very special service begins at 10:45, and I don't know, Rabbi David, if you ever.
You're muted.
We've lost you, Stuart.
Sorry.
You're back.
Tomorrow morning, I think unprecedented triple B'nai Bar Mitzvah. I've never heard of it. So for Talia and Suki and Orin, a very special morning. So please do come and join us and see them. It's a great, very special thing. All weekday mornings at 11, we hold our coffee mornings for informed chat, and we're quite allowed to bring tea as well. A quiz is back next Sunday, the 29th of November. And this Thursday, also in the evening, 7:30 to 8:30, our own Jacob Foreman will be talking about how to start your own food bank. He did it at JW3, and from a very small acorn, a great big tree has grown, which gives out many, many meals to the needy. And this again is such an important and necessary work for the community. I must just a reminder, all details on the update, and the service tomorrow begins at 10:45 for the treble celebration. One more very special Mazel Tov, of course, by David and Fiona for the birth of their beautiful granddaughter this week. I've seen the picture, she's lovely. And Mazel Tov pass on to Lane and Simon. It's a really lovely thing. Lovely to have grandchildren, even though Ruth and me aren't allowed to see them. But anyway, how's it getting on well? And I'm sure your little girl is as well. So Mazel Tov to you both, and wishing everyone well. Shabbat Shalom to all. Take care, and hopefully see you all in the morning. Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, David.
And thank you, Stuart. Actually, Leanna and Simon and their 4-year-old baby have in fact joined us, and so you'll be able to meet her on her very, very first Shabbat.
You're not going to get away. You're not going to get away with a 4-year-old.
4-day-old.
No.
He's nearly 5 days old now.
I'd just like to also extend my personal good wishes to Suki and Talia and to Oren. I'm sure everything and their parents and their family and everything will go smoothly tomorrow morning. And we're all very proud of what you're doing. And I'm really pleased that you chose to join us for our Erev Shabbat service this evening. Now, could I ask Gary if you could jump, I don't know if you're able to do that, to page 644. 644.
What's that?
Yom Zeh L'Yisrael.
Oh, God.
It's Kislev, and this mentions light. Kislev is the month in which we have the festival of Hanukkah, so light is particularly appropriate.
There we are. Well done, Gary. Round of applause for Gary. This is the first Shabbat for our granddaughter and the first Shabbat in Kislev this year. Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Hora v'Simcha, Hora v'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha. Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Hora v'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha, Menucha. Shabbat Menucha, Yom Zeh. Tivita Pikudim Ma'amad Sinai, Shabbat Moadim Lishmo B'Hot Shanai, La'arok Lefanai, Ma'aseifa Arucha, Shabbat Menucha, Menucha, Shabbat Menucha, Choretz. Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Hora v'Simcha, Hora v'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha. Yom Zeh L'Yisrael, Hora v'Simcha, Shabbat Menucha, Menucha, Shabbat Menucha. Emdat halvavot lu mashavot alinfasha lehavot neshama yetera. Minefesh Metzera Yaseva Anna Shabbat Menucha Menucha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh L'Yisrael Hora v'Simcha Hora v'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh L'Yisrael Hora v'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Menucha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh L'Asves Shukidashta Berakta Oto Mikol Yamim Sheisheklita Meleket Olamim Omatzu Agumim Hashketu B'Tzacha Shabbat Menucha Menucha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh L'Yisrael Hora v'Simcha Hora v'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zeh L'Yisrael Hora v'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Menucha Shabbat Menucha. May God bless us and keep us. May God look kindly upon us and be gracious to us. May God reach out to us all with tenderness and give us peace. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka yisa Adonai panav elecha. V'yasem lecha shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom. Let's get all the things ready for Kiddush, and this will be baby Etkine's first Friday night. So I'm really happy to welcome her and thank everybody for all their good wishes to Leanna and Simon, and also to us. Lovely to share simchas with the community. If you've got your wine, get it now.
ויהי ויבוא כיום השישי, ויבוא להם השמיים וראו צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קדשנו במצוותיו ורצנו בשבת קודשו יאמר ורצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית. הוא יום תהילה למקראי קודש, זכר לשיח מצרים, עמנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך יבואו רצון המהלנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim, everybody.
L'chaim, everyone. L'chaim.